With a legend seemingly done with WWE and more, this is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Touching on WWE's live event business, Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio, Nick Khan today was talking about that he feels that the combination of eliminating the house shows has made the product more scarce. So because the product is more scarce, there's more demand for tickets to these shows that they are doing, like the TV tapings and obviously the pay-per-view shows, and it has enabled them to raise the price because of the scarcity. As long as ticket sales are good, inherently based on the law of supply and demand, the tickets are not priced too high. And as long as the secondary market prices for tickets are higher than the face value, the next time they come to town, ticket prices are probably likely to be higher. WWE ticket prices have doubled. This next Monday's Raw in Boston is obviously going to be really big. The week after, in the Garden, is going to be even bigger. And then the DC show on December 13th is going to be most likely the largest arena-sized gate in the history of professional wrestling. Asked if she thinks there will be another match between her and Britt Baker, AEW's Thunder Rosa told Masks, Mats, and Mayhem, "Again, it's not up to me. It's not up to her. It's up to the people above us. That's above my pay grade. I mean, I would love to. I think it would be a good idea to close the chapter on our story and do it right. That's what I'm saying. It's time to finish the story. Give her another chance. It's not me giving her another chance. I mean, for years I've been saying we should finish. I've called her out plenty of times. Yes, I don't know if it will happen. I think it's a matter of respect, right? Like, she might feel disrespected. She wants to get the respect back from the locker room or whatever. And who else than to beat me? To beat the respect out of me? But I don't know." Baker has been off AEW programming for nearly a year, as many believe she will not be returning to All Elite Wrestling. Giving his thoughts on Triple H's approach to management as Chief Content Officer in WWE, former writer for the company, Vince Russo, noted on his podcast, "Everybody respects this guy, but this guy knows, man. Like, when it's time to be the freaking boss, I'm going to be the boss. I saw it my first day. You see Triple H with the hands on the shoulder and rest in the fore, get the F out of here. What is this, kindergarten?" Triple H is sitting there at the gorilla position. Was that scripted? He didn't even know if that was a shoot or not. Then they come back and smarten him up. Triple H says, "Well, you go tell Tiffy that she needs to apologize. No trips, you need to go tell Tiffy." Bro, if that's Vince McMahon, the headsets are getting thrown on the table and he's telling the agent, "Bring Tiffany's ass over here right now." Vince McMahon wasn't worried about being freaking liked. Triple H, he's got this thing about being liked. I've been told by somebody, a talent at a high level, who told me the love of the freaking internet means everything to Triple H. That's why he brought in Joe Hendry at freaking WrestleMania. That is so important to him. And bro, you cannot be in that spot and want to be liked. It appears that Jesse Ventura might be done with his involvement for WWE, as he was noticeably absent from Saturday night's main event on November 1st. Talking about this, Dave Meltzer of F4W Online said, "We were under the impression he had signed a one-year deal for these shows, and that deal would have run out with the last show. I don't know that factually, and in checking, the only thing we got was that it was not a major topic of discussion. But after the cage match fiasco performance in the McIntyre vs. Damian Priest match, we were told the die was cast as far as using him going forward. Of course, when calling the match from May 24th between McIntyre and Priest, Ventura said this as Priest won by exiting through the door. How do you win it going out the door? I thought you had to go over the top. What kind of BS is that?" touching on being given a contract offer from WWE and having it taken away in 24 hours, KROSS told Coach and Bro, "We just kind of shrugged. We're not fatalists. Like, if we can't do what we want, it's the end of the world. Of course, it means the world to us to be there and perform at our best, but not under those conditions. We've always approached things with logic and fairness. And if that's not going to be met, we're not young, starving 20-year-olds who are going to subject ourselves to being spoken to like that. We know what's going on. So if the conversation isn't going to proceed fairly, we'll just say, we'd like to keep the dialogue open. We're not saying no, we just want to continue discussing this." And at one point, the guy goes, "Well, we're going to tell them you declined the offer." And I said, "Don't do that, because that's not what I said. Don't put words in my mouth. If you're going to say something, say that I want to keep the dialogue open." The whole conversation felt strategic on their end. Strategic and very gross. During that same interview, KROSS spoke about the confusion in WWE in terms of where decisions come from, saying that's another thing that kind of drives people a little bit crazy. Sometimes when you go to work in a wrestling environment, you don't actually know who the chain of command is. Like, who do you talk to? Who makes the decision? Why is that decision being made? Do they feel those decisions are above having to speak to the talent about it? There's a lot of confusion about how that whole structure works. You'll be told something came from the top when it didn't, and someone just wanted their idea approved. Then you talk to the person at the top and they're like, "What are you talking about?" One time I was given a promo about Bray Wyatt, and this was after Wyndham had passed. It was a Saturday night, 10 p.m., just a text message, and even the proper format we were supposed to get. I read it and I was mortified. I was personally offended as his friend. The person who sent it said, "They want you to say it exactly like this," and I said, "Who's they?" I brought it to the lead writers immediately because it was disgusting to me. It was written poorly too. I asked, "Did this come from you guys? Was there a discussion? Because I've never been told recently to say something word for word like that." And the writer said, "That never came from us. We never saw that, and you don't have to listen to that person ever again." That was insane. My friend is no longer here, and there wasn't even a conversation about this. Someone just tried to push it through like it was official when it wasn't. Imagine me going on TV saying that, and then his family hears it. So when people say everything goes through one person and everyone's on the same page, no. There are weird gaps sometimes. I'm sure they'd like it to be streamlined, but there are definitely gaps. Explaining WWE's decision to fire Ridge Holland a week prior to his contract expiring, Bryan Alvarez started by reading out a tweet from Holland. "I feel like I've just been hung out to dry after getting injured working for another company on behalf of WWE. Add to that my contract not being renewed, knowing that I wouldn't be able to wrestle for 7 months is brutal. Yes, they are taking care of the surgery and physical therapy, but let's be honest, that's a bare minimum after what we sacrificed for the company. Plus the possibility of having to get my neck fused too. Talk about getting totally effed." Dave Meltzer said, "Then the next day they called him and fired him. They wanted to send a message to everyone out there that if you say anything bad, you know that you can be cut. And that's what happened. They were going to cut him a year ago. They gave him another year and they probably, in reality, had already decided he wasn't that over. There's really no reason to at least keep him on through the rehab period given that he was injured on your job. He's not someone who is going to necessarily have a lot of options even when this is done." Staying on this topic, a GoFundMe has been started for Ridge Holland. It reads, "Give hope to a family facing unimaginable hardship. Help a father of 3 heal without losing everything. A hardworking husband, a devoted wife, 3 beautiful children, and a devastating injury that threatens to take it all away. We're reaching out with heavy hearts on behalf of a dear family in crisis. A loving father of 3 suffered injuries whilst on the job. Injuries that have not only left him unable to work, but also abandoned by the very company he served. Despite being injured at work, he was hired as a 1099 contractor, meaning he's not eligible for workers' compensation, sick leave, or any support from the employer. Since the injury, the company has offered to pay for medical expenses, but no pay, no new contract. The family has already endured a 55% pay cut last year and have done everything possible to reduce their expenses. He is now facing months of recovery, including another surgery in March of next year and potentially a neck surgery this month, leaving him unable to return to work until at least late April or early May if recovery goes as hoped. His wife, who is already stretched thin caring for him and their 3 young children, is doing her best, but without any nearby family or support system, it's simply not enough. Every day is a struggle mentally and physically. They would like to provide a sense of stability for their children, who are watching their world slowly unravel. They're doing everything they can, but it's not enough. They are at risk of losing their home, of falling into debt they may never escape, of having their kids face a holiday season filled with fear and uncertainty rather than joy. This family needs a lifeline, and they need it now. Your donation, no matter the size, will give them the time and space to heal, regroup, and rebuild without losing everything they've worked so hard for. Please give what you can, and share this campaign with your community. Every share, every prayer, and every dollar means the world to this family. Together, we can help them make it through this unimaginable season and into a more hopeful future. This fundraiser has been created to help this beautiful family through the months ahead, to keep a roof over their heads, food on the table, pay the bills, cover travel to hospital appointments, and give him chance to focus on healing without the constant fear of financial collapse. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. At the time of recording, there are 127 donations that amounts to $8,922. The goal is set to $60,000. Notable names have donated such as Omos, Jinder Mahal, Kyle Fletcher, Nick Jackson, and Chelsea Green. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.